And we're back, and we're in chapter 7 of Liberate, and we're just going to pick up where we left off, which is a caution about vehicle debt. So new cars can lose up to 60% of their original value in the first 5 years. The cause of such significant decline can be attributed to the following factors. 1, the car being considered used the moment it is driven off the dealership lot. 2, the number of new car models introduced each year increases the supply of used cars on the market, reducing demand. 3, driving the car increases the mileage and puts normal wear and tear on it. 4, newer cars have the latest technology advances, making the used cars technology more obsolete and less desirable. So most people overspend on car payments. It is better to get a used car and finance a small loan, and it is best to get a used car and pay cash. Some people who could be FI are not because they continuously allocate money to car payments instead of their FI account. That is simply not a wealthy decision. The only thing worse than buying things with cash that lose their value is being charged interest for the opportunity to own it. For families, it is always better to buy than to lease and to go without if you cannot afford it. It's much better to save up for what you want than to go into debt for it. Besides financing a modest home and car with debt, you should avoid consumer debt like the plague. A caution about house debt. Houses usually appreciate in value, but that doesn't mean you should buy the most expensive house if you are trying to become FI. Houses need upkeep, and that upkeep costs money, and that you could have invested instead of paying for fix-ups. The larger the home and property, the more money it will cost for maintenance and utilities like water, sewer, power, and natural gas. The nicer the house and the neighborhood, the more expensive the homeowner's insurance, property taxes, and HOA fees. These are additional expenses on top of your mortgage payment, not being allocated to your FI. Not to mention, all of these costs will constantly rise with inflation over time, consuming more of your income. Remember, unless you plan to downsize your house at some point, any appreciation in the value of your home will be locked up. Okay. Suppose you decide to sell your home and move somewhere else. In that case, it is highly probable that if you want to live in a comparable home, the cost of the new home will be similar to the sale price of your old home. Thus, you are just swapping one house for another, and your FI will not benefit from the transaction. In many instances, the equity trapped within the value of your home is never directly available to contribute to your FI. The value of owning a home comes from having a place to live, and eventually your expenses will decrease by the size of your mortgage payment after you pay off your house. When that happens, it will free up additional money to contribute to your FI account. Making a wealthy decision on a home purchase also indirectly affects your FI. Why? By making sure your mortgage payment is reasonable based on your income and other expenses, you'll more easily be able to contribute 15% to 20% of your income to your FI account. Suppose you can get your car and home purchases right. In that case, you will put yourself in a wealthy position to become FI. If you choose to get your car and home purchases wrong, you will put yourself in a very poor position, jeopardizing your chances of ever becoming FI. It is that important. Remember in part 1, how we talked about the outcomes of the choices we can control. Buying a home or purchasing a car is a choice that you have 100% control over. You can make the wealthy choice or the poor choice. It's up to you. Consider a wealthy house purchase. You make a wealthy decision when you buy a home within the correct wealthy parameters, not when you sell it. You set yourself up for wealth by purchasing a home in a lower status neighborhood, and as a rule of thumb, not spending more than twice your gross annual income on the total mortgage debt. Another guideline is to ensure your combined monthly mortgage payment, property taxes, homeowners insurance, and homeowners association fees do not exceed 30% of your gross monthly income. It's also a wealthy decision to get a 15-year mortgage, not a 30-year mortgage, because the sooner you pay off the mortgage, the sooner you can reallocate those payments to your FI account, reaping the reward of an additional 15 years of compound interest working for you instead of against you. What if there's not enough? After reviewing all of your expenses, suppose you determine that you are living as a frugal lifestyle and still cannot make ends meet. In that case, you do your best now and commit to getting your financial affairs in order so that your personal income engine increases in size and can produce the amount of income you need to reach FI. To accomplish this goal, obtain additional education or technical skills to get a higher paying job. Work more hours, get a second job, or start your own service or product business with a high probability of success with little to no upfront costs. Above all, your financial management must become a lifelong priority. FI families become FI by continuously practicing the habit of spending considerably less than what they earn. They know how much their family spends each week, month, and year on the necessities and wants of life. They have precise FI goals, and they commit to the lifestyle necessary to achieving FI, regardless of what others think. Achieving FI is more important to them than the unfound opinions of others. It brings a sense of security and happiness unattainable to those worried about paying bills they can't afford. People who achieve FI often dedicate significant time and effort to planning their journey compared to those who don't. To reach FI, you must make it a top priority in your life. Okay. And so one of the ways you can do that, scheduling FI planning time. You should constantly review your FI progress. Setting aside time in your calendar to review your progress is important. So you'll want to set aside 1 or 2 hours a week to do so. If you are married, it's mandatory that both spouses review all spending activities together. To start, carve out the hours on your schedule by blocking out the same time for your FI review. Later, if you have to move it to a different hour or day, that's fine. You just need to be accountable for holding your weekly FI victory meeting. This meeting is where dreams turn into goals and goals into reality. My wife and I have spent our married life together dreaming and planning, and it has been so rewarding. It wasn't always easy working on finances together. We had to learn how to communicate with each other. We had to learn how to forgive each other. But we've learned to work as a team, and our family is better for it. Together, we understand where we are going and what we need to do to get there weekly, monthly, and annually. What that means is our mission is aligned. We are heading in the same direction. This alignment comes from frequently discussing our plans, our dreams, and how we will make them a reality. No matter how bad it gets, we stay positive. Does that mean we're perfect at it? No. If we have a breakdown, fine. After we take a break and apologize, we regroup, refocus, and keep working toward our mission. All right. So we're going to go ahead and pause there and pick it up in the next video, how money works for you. Thanks for being here with me.